The defense ruled the day in the top 5 showdown between the Texas Longhorns and the Ohio State Buckeyes live from Columbus today. And the AP preseason #1 Longhorns, led by Arch Manning, his Heisman campaign might have died right then and there. He really struggled early with pressure. Arvell Reese was getting home consistently with the linebackers. Now, our defensive line was not getting too much pressure on the QB itself. Julian Sain, I felt, outdueled him, was able to remain calm despite some early drops. Both defenses really, truly ruled the day today. The Longhorns were able to outrush and outgain the Buckeyes in every category. Arch seemed to come alive late in the football game. When they were forced to pass the ball, they were able to exploit the Buckeyes secondary a little bit. Of course, the monumental play again that's going to haunt Texas forever. It did all off season, and they fall short on the goal line again against the Ohio State Buckeye defensive front. Truly, truly been motivated to punch it in the end zone in those situations against this specific team, and they once more failed in that. Of course, Arch Manning threw the interception. Jermaine Matthews was a big one as he floated the ball to the outside. You can't deliver it late into the outside. It's just a rule you have to adhere by as a quarterback. The Longhorns defense, I must admit, they really stuffed the ground game. Ohio State's offensive line could not get the pushes that they were looking for against the Texas defensive front. Of course, Hero Kanu, a transfer from Ohio State, playing a big role in that as well. The Buckeyes really could not get an effective ground game going and had many 3-and-outs. It might have been 4 or 5 3-and-outs in this entirety of the game. Now, I said the team that would rush the ball the best would win the game. And Texas really, really outmatched Ohio State in the ground game today. But they could not punch it in when it mattered. And they got turned away on 4th down twice. And they couldn't get the yards when they needed to. They were really starting to gash us, especially in the opening drive in the second half. But then they got turned away and stoned on the goal line again. Losing Ohio State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles to the Nittany Lions, Matt Patricia, a controversial hire for the Buckeyes to some in the fan base, myself included. Man, they shut him out for the majority of this game. Texas didn't cross the goal line until very, very late in this contest. He certainly answered the bell. I'd have to critique Arch. I mean, there are a lot of false starts there. There are a lot of missed throws. There are a lot of floating of the ball. He honestly, we got him uncomfortable with blitzes and shifting the pocket and getting at least pressure. Didn't finish too many times, but that C.J. Hicks play at the end of the game to seal it for the Buckeyes on 4th and 5, just absolutely monumental. We'll have to keep an eye on Kenyatta Jackson if he's going to remain healthy for the Buckeyes this season, as he went down and left the game with injury. He was walking on his own feet, so I think he'll be all set for week number 2 versus Grambling State. But we certainly have a new number 1 team in the country. Ohio State will replace Texas as they protect the horseshoe, and they'll take that mantle as the nation's #1 team once again, as not defending but attacking national champions. Certainly some things to clear up offensively. The drops early on, they need to get that push on the offensive front. We're not going to learn too much versus Grambling and versus the Ohio Bobcats in the next 2 games, but the Buckeyes should remain #1 for quite some time this season. Even lower scoring than I imagined, and just very happy and thankful to get this W. Start the season on the right foot, because I actually did predict a loss. And expectations potentially have changed. The Longhorns going to have to regroup after just scoring 7 points in their season opener. We'll see how Arch Manning develops the rest of the season, but right now, a massive pause on his Heisman campaign. Hartline, certainly some things to work on here. I felt like the punter was one of the MVPs for the Longhorns. He kept pinning us deep, and then, of course, when we got that goal line stand, another possession starting inside our 5-yard line. A lot to learn from and grow for Brian Hartline in that category. A lot to grow into as he becomes a play caller for the first time. Carnell Tate with the highlight reel catch that ended up being the game winner. I don't know how he pulled that in. Slight underthrow by Sain there, but unbelievable concentration to haul that touchdown in. Rob and I will be back tomorrow for more coverage, wrapping up the first weekend of college football. Of course, a lot more games to watch tonight. Clemson, LSU. among others, Florida State, Alabama, Miami, Notre Dame. Going to be a fun night of football. Buckeyes start the season right, and they'll be number one. OH!